Learn to be silent. Let your quiet mind listen and absorb. The highest goal of music is to connect one's soul to their divine nature, not entertainment. As long as man continues to be the ruthless destroyer of lower living beings, he will never know health or peace. For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Man, know thyself, then thou shalt know the universe and God. God built the universe on numbers. In anger, we should refrain both from speech and action. No one is free who has not obtained the empire of himself. No man is free who cannot command himself. Concern should drive us into action and not into a depression. No man is free who cannot control himself. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Silence is better than unmeaning words. Learn silence. With the quiet serenity of a meditative mind, listen, absorb, transcribe, and transform. Number is the ruler of forms and ideas, and the cause of gods and demons. The oldest, shortest words yes and no are those which require the most thought. It is better to be silent than to dispute with the ignorant. There is geometry in the humming of the strings, there is music in the spacing of the spheres. Do not go to bed until you have gone over the day 3 times in your mind. What wrong did I do? What good did I accomplish? What did I forget to do? The wise man should be prepared for everything that does not lie within his control. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please. If there be light, then there is darkness. If cold, heat. If height, depth. If solid, fluid. If hard, soft. If rough, smooth. If calm, tempest. If prosperity, adversity. If life, death. The beginning of every government starts with the education of our youth. Let exercise alternate with rest. Above the cloud with its shadow is the star with its light. Above all things reverence thyself. Reason is immortal, all else mortal. If you're asked what is the silence, respond, it is the first stone of the wisdom's temple. Number is the within of all things. Don't try to cover your mistakes with false words. Rather, correct your mistakes with examination. Geometry is knowledge of the eternally existent. Wisdom, thoroughly learned, will never be forgotten. Friendship is one soul in 2 bodies. Salt is born of the purest parents, the sun and the sea. The stars in the heavens sing a music, if only we had ears to hear. There is a good principle which created order, light, and man, and an evil principle which created chaos, darkness, and woman. A thought is an idea in transit. There is no word or action, but has its echo in eternity. The soul of man is divided into 3 parts: intelligence, reason, and passion. Intelligence and passion are possessed by other animals, but reason by man alone. Music is the harmonization of opposites, the conciliation of warring elements. As soon as you awake, in order lay the actions to be done the coming day. Choose always the way that seems the best, however rough it may be. Custom will soon render it easy and agreeable. Astonishing, everything is intelligent. Alas, what wickedness to swallow flesh into our own flesh, to fatten our greedy bodies by cramming in other bodies, to have one living creature fed by the death of another. Lust weakens both body and mind. Choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body. Educate the children and it won't be necessary to punish the men. The wind is blowing, adore the wind. Time is the soul of this world. Truth is so great a perfection, that if God would render himself visible to men, he would choose light for his body, and truth for his soul. Speak not nor act before thou hast reflected. Animals share with us the privilege of having a soul. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child. Anger begins in folly and ends in repentance. Do not talk a little on many subjects, but much on a few. Government exists only for the good of the governed. Remind yourself that all men assert that wisdom is the greatest good, but that there are few who strenuously seek out that greatest good. So in life, some enter the services of fame and others money, but the best choice is that of those few who spend their time in the contemplation of nature and as lovers of wisdom. If you have a wounded heart, touch it as little as you would an injured eye. There are only two remedies for the suffering of the soul: hope and patience. Numbers have a way of taking a man by the hand and leading him down the path of reason. Strength of mind rests in sobriety, for this keeps your reason unclouded by passion. As soon as laws are necessary for men, they are no longer fit for freedom. We ought so to behave to one another as to avoid making enemies of our friends, and at the same time to make friends of our enemies. Practice justice in word and deed, and do not get in the habit of acting thoughtlessly about anything. Friends are as companions on a journey, who ought to aid each other to persevere in the road to a happier life. Assist a man in raising a burden, but do not assist him in laying it down. Thought is an idea in transit, which when once released, never can be lured back, nor the spoken word recalled. None can be free who is a slave to, and ruled by, his passions. Declining from the public ways, walk in unfrequented paths. Write in the sand the flaws of your friend. Let no one persuade you by word or deed to do or say whatever is not best for you. Practice restraint over the following appetite, first, as well as sleep, lust, and anger. He buries gold who hides the truth. Allow not sleep to close your eyes before 3 times reflecting on your actions of the day. What deeds done well, what not, what left undone? Do not despise anyone an atom shadowing. Bless us, divine number, who generated gods and men. Number contains the root and source of eternally flowing creation. The octave formed a circle and gave our noble earth its form. Every man has been made by God in order to acquire knowledge and contemplate. Wealth is a weak anchor, and glory cannot support a man. This is the law of God, that virtue only is firm and cannot be shaken by a tempest. When the wise man opens his mouth, the beauties of his soul present themselves to the view, like the statues in a temple. You should make great things, not promising great things. Above all, have respect for yourself. Do not even think of doing what ought not to be done. A blow from your friend is better than a kiss from your enemy. There are in woman's eyes 2 sorts of tears, the one of grief, the other of deceit. Love that shines from within cannot be darkened by obstacles of the world of consequences. It is difficult to walk at one and the same time many paths of life. Without justice, no realm may prosper. Respect gods before demigods, heroes before men, and first among men your parents, but respect yourself most of all. Ability and necessity dwell near each other. As the sea crab swimmeth always against the stream, so doth wit always against wisdom. Step not beyond the beam of the balance. He is not rich, that enjoyeth not his own goods. Above all things, respect yourself. Govern your tongue before all other things, following the gods. It is required to find the infinitely big inside what's infinitely small to feel the presence of God. Having departed from your house, turn not back, for the Furies will be your attendants. We ought not to quit our post without the permission of him who commands. The post of man is life. In this theater of man's life, it is reserved only for God and angels to be lookers-on. You should help a man to take up a burden, but you should not help him put it back down. The experience of life in a finite, limited body is specifically for the purpose of discovering and manifesting supernatural existence.